What's the most important qualities about a leader?
That they're driven and they're motivated so they can inspire others to lead as well.
What's the hardest quality about leadership?
The hardest quality about leadership is having to make hard decisions and keeping people accountable. Because a lot of the times you're working with people that you want to continue to be friends with, but every once in a while you need something done and you got to put your foot down. So being a leader, sometimes you have to hold those people accountable, and sometimes it's not the nicest. So the more you enforce the things that you're preaching, the better off your business or whatever you're taking the lead of is going to be.
What's one piece of advice you'd give to a young leader?
To be vocal and be loud and have them be able to perform.
What does well-executed leadership look like to you?
It looks like having everybody bring their gifts to the table so they can all use what they're here for, what they were meant to be here for. Everybody has a gift and they need to bring it.
What's one piece of advice you would give to a young leader?
Be open and be open for change.
What's the hardest leadership quality to develop?
The hardest leadership quality about is to show up every day and do the same thing over and over again with a great result and grind every day. Every day, you gotta grind.
What's the hardest part about being a leader?
I would say the hardest part would be dealing with the people that you have to lead. You gotta be able to show them guidance and have to be patient with them.
What's the hardest part about being a leader?
I would say it's balancing like that area of being tough and holding everybody accountable, but also being a person that they enjoy following and want to keep on top.
What's one piece of advice you would give a young leader?
Some advice I would give would probably be telling them to be patient and be confident in what you say.
What's the hardest leadership quality to develop?
I would say the hardest leadership quality to develop is probably staying vocal and getting comfortable with your teammates, because everyone's going to have their own opinion on you, and you just got to learn not to care what other people think.
What's one piece of advice you would give to a young leader?
One piece of advice I would give to a young leader is don't be afraid to fail, because on your way to being a leader, you have to fail a lot of times before you're good at what you want to do. So don't be afraid to fail. Jump into as much as you can. And yeah, be confident.
What's the hardest leadership quality to develop?
The hardest leadership quality to develop, I would say, is adaptability. When it comes to situations that you aren't familiar with and you have to lead people through it, you have to be able to adapt. And I find it hard for people to adapt to.
What's the hardest part about being a leader?
Being a good listener and being proactive about having a positive answer, even when it's like a tough question and situation.